Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In today's session, we will learn how to send a text message directly from an Android application using the SMS Manager class. Before we move into the coding, so let's understand. So what is the use of SMS Manager class? SMS Manager class in Android is a powerful API that allow the developers to send the SMS message programmatically. It provides a different methods for sending the messages. So first one is a send text message. So this is for plain text, and we have a send data message. So this is for data based SMS, and send multimedia message, and this is for MMS. Okay. So the SMS manager class is a built-in Android class that manages all SMS related operations such as sending the text message, data message, and multimedia messages. It provides three important methods. So the first one is a send text message. It is used to send the regular text message. Then we have send data message, and this function is used for sending the binary or database messages. And third one is a send multimedia message function, and this is used for sending the MMS or media based messages. Okay. So in this session, we will focus on the send text message method, which allow us to send a plain text message to the specific phone number from our application. So let's look at a simple example applications that sends a text message using the SMS manager. Okay. So here our application interface, so we have a field to enter the phone number and another field to type the message to be sent. Okay. So finally a send button to send the SMS. Okay. So next we will see about step by step implementations in Kotlin. Okay. So the first step is about create the new Android project. So for this, so we have to select the empty activity and name it, for example, SMS application Kotlin. Okay. So second step, open the Android manifest XML file and add the permission to send the SMS message. Okay. So the statement is about users permission Android name, which is equivalent to Android.permission send SMS. Okay. So this permission allow the application to send the SMS message from the device. Okay. Then the third step, open the activity main.xml. So generally it will be located in the application. So in the folder of rest folder, and we have a layout. Okay. So here we have to design the user interface. Okay. So this kind of the layout generally includes an edit text for entering the phone number and another edit text for typing the message. Then we have a button to send the message. Okay. So next, fourth step. So now open the main activity Kotlin file. So actually it will be present in the application folder, and write the Kotlin code for this. So in this code, we first declare the three variables. Okay. So phone number, message, and the send for the respective user interface element. Okay. So inside the onCreate method, we use the find view build. So this will to link these variables with their XML components. Okay. So next we set the click listener on send button. Okay. So here we read the text entered by the user for the both phone number and the message using text to string method. Okay. So next we will have a fifth step. So here sending the message using the SMS manager. So inside the try block, we create the instance of the SMS manager class and call the method send text message. Okay. So if the message is successfully sent, the toast message saying message sent appears on the screen. Okay. Suppose if an error occurs, for example, if a field is empty or permission is missing, so the catch block runs. That time displaying the toast message saying some fields are empty. So when you run the applications, so enter the valid number and type your message, then tap on the send button. Okay. So if everything is correct and permission is granted, then you will see the message sent. So displayed on the screen, and the SMS will be sent to the entered phone number. Next we will explore the session on how to send an email from an Android application. Okay. So next we will move into the next session. So we will learn how to create the simple Android application that allows the user to send the emails directly through their mobile device using the intents. Okay. So, in Android applications, the intents are messaging the objects used to communicate between the components such as activities, services and broadcast receivers. Okay. So, here we will use a implicit intent with an action sent to send an email. Okay. So, this intent allows a user to choose from the available email applications which are installed on their phone, okay, such as Gmail or Outlook. To send an email will include three key details. So, the first is the recipient email address. Second, the subject of the email. Okay. So, third, the body of the message. Okay. So, next we will move on to the step 1. So, this is about the project setup. So, let us begin by creating the new Android project in Android Studio with an empty activity as usual. So, we will name it something like a email sender application. Okay. Then in the second step, so we have to design the layout based on the activity main.xml. Okay. So, next we will design the user interface in the activity main.xml file. So, this layout includes 3 edit text fields. So, one for the recipient email address and one for the subject and one for the body of the mail. Okay. So, here the button labeled send email. So, this will trigger the email intent. So, here the layout structure, so that is we have used the relative layout. So, that aligns the fields neatly with the labels for each input. Okay. So, you can see the fields labeled send to, email subject and email body. So, next we will move into the step 3. So, here what we are doing, so writing the Kotlin code. Okay. So, that code will be saved into the file of main activity.kt. Okay. So, now let us move to the Kotlin code in the main activity file. So, here we will start by creating the object for each of the 3 edit text fields and the button. So, in the onCreate method, we will link this object with their corresponding views using the find view build. Okay. So, next we will go into the next step, fourth step. So, here we are doing like creating and sending the indent. So, next we will set on click listener for the button. So, when the user click this button, the applications will collect the data which has been entered. So, that is email address, subject and message body. Okay. So, next we will then create the intent with the action indent action send and use put extra method to add our email details. Okay. So, finally, we will launch the user using start activity. So, here the indent.create user. So, within the bracket indent and choose an email client. Okay. So, because of this code will allow the user to select which email application to use for sending the message. Okay. So, in the step 5, so we are running the application. Okay. So, let us run the applications now. You will see the 3 input fields for the recipient email, subject and message body. So, once all the fields are entered or filled, click the send email button. Okay. So, now you will be prompted to choose a email client installed on your phone. Okay. So, after selecting one, the email draft will be open. Then pre-filled with the details you entered in the applications. Okay. So, next we will explore about so how to include the media player class in Android. Okay. So, actually, so this kind of the media player class in Android is used to play the media type of the files. So, those are audio or video files. It can also be used to play the audio or video streams over the network. Okay. So, in this session, the things we are going to discuss are media player state diagram. Okay. So, this diagram shows the lifestyle of the Android media player and how it moves between the different state during the audio and video playback. Okay. So, the player starts in the ideal state after creation. Okay. Then, when you call set data source, so that time it will moves to initialized. Okay. So, after calling the prepare function or prepare asynchronous function, it goes to the prepared state. So, meaning that it is ready to play. Okay. Then we have a calling start. So, this functions begins playback. Okay. So, that will be in a starter state. Then you can pause or stop or let playback complete. So this means paused or stopped and playback completed or intermediate states depending on the user actions. Okay. So next we have a release function. So this will end the player. Okay. So it will move into the end state. Okay. So if any error occurs, it goes to the error state. So here the reset functions will be used for so bring the actual work back to the ideal state. Okay. In short, this diagram helps the developers to understand so when and how to safely control media playback using the methods like prepare, start, pause, stop and release. Okay. So next we are going to learn how to create the simple media player applications in Android using Kotlin. Okay. So by end of this video, you will be able to play, able to pause and stop an audio file directly from your Android applications. Okay. So let's start with the step 1. Okay. So here as usual we will create the new project. Okay. So for that first we have to open the Android Studio and create the new project with an empty activity. Okay. So make sure you select the Kotlin as a programming language. Okay. So next move to the step 2. So here so you have to create the raw resource folder. Okay. So inside this res directory, so we have to create the folder named raw. Okay. So now copy your MP3 audio file into this raw folder. Okay. So this is where we'll store the sound file that our media player will play. Okay. So now let's design the user interface. So in the activity main.xml file, so we have to create the 3 buttons. Okay. So one button for play and one button for pause and one for stop. Okay. So these buttons will control the playback of our audio file. Okay. So finally, let's move into the step 4. We are going to work with the main activity.kotlin file. Okay. So here we'll create the media player instance and connect it to our buttons. Okay. So here we'll initialize the media player using media player.create. Okay. So actually, so this is an r.raw.file name. Okay. So when the user taps the play button, we start playback with the media player.start. Okay. So to pause, we use the media player.pause function, and to stop, we have to use the media player.stop function. Okay. So let's run the applications. Okay. So when I press the play button, the song starts to play. Okay. So when you press the pause button, so it will pause as the playback. Okay. Then finally, when we press the stop, it will end the playback. Okay. So that how you can easily build a simple media player in Android. Okay. So this concept forms a foundation for developing the more advanced media applications such as media player or audio based learning tools. Okay.